Ronnie Murphy, Refugee Action. For those of you who don't know, we're a national organisation. Been running since around about 1980, 81. We work on resettlement, asylum seeker support, refugee support, and various programmes around the country. I've been with Refugee Action for around about 12 years. Can you hear me? Can't hear. Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry, shall I start again? Okay. Been doing this for about 12 years. I'm only 26, so you can see that it has its challenges. I've got about 10 minutes, so I am going to rattle through this a little bit. One of the most important things for me to say is we don't do community sponsorship at the moment, so obviously other speakers will give you more direct information about that. We are involved in the Syrian resettlement programme in various places around the country through the government scheme and through our links with local authorities in various places. So I'm just going to rattle through. You will find it a bit quick, but it will give you an overview of what we're up to and what my job is, which is to manage the Syrian resettlement programme for the Liverpool City region. Okay, so we've had a long history in resettlement. We have the Gateway Protection Programme, which some of you might know about. I worked on Gateway for around about 6 years. It's a programme for resettlement for those people who have no other solution to their needs. It's a UN-backed initiative with European funding and links to various governments around the world. A lot of countries are involved in this, most countries in the world in some form or other. Gateway Protection Programme for us means that 750 people come to the UK each year and are resettled here. Most of them from refugee camps in various places that have fled their own country and have no other solution except to be resettled into a third country. Gateway for Refugee Action is around Greater Manchester, and Gateway takes about 470 out of the 750 each year. For Syria, we're involved in various programmes in various places. Lancashire, Preston and South Liverpool. 41 refugees all arrived in September. Liverpool, we've started a programme where there will be 360 people will arrive to the Liverpool City region. That is 100 in Halton, 100 on the Wirral, 100 in Liverpool City, 60 for St Helens. A little bit of background is how quickly some of this is happening and how little room for going outside the margins there is. And I was interviewed for this post in November on a Thursday. Before the end of the day, I started work on the programme. By the next day, I was fully involved in the programme. By the next week, we'd taken our first arrival of 4 families. And since then, we've taken round about 97 people into the region. And that's, for us, that's about 20 cases, which we would call, which is 20 families into those areas. So the programme is well underway. We have another major arrival in April, early April, coming into Liverpool Airport. The way this works is the government will charter a plane and they will bring as many people as they can from the Lebanon to all the various local authorities in each area as quickly as they can. So when we arrive at the airport, then we will have something like 8 to 9 local authority areas picking people up from that airport and taking people up to the various areas. So we might have on our next one round about 80 people, then but the flight itself will contain about 163 people. So there will be a lot of areas that are now resettling Syrians into their areas, including Shropshire, Staffordshire, Worcestershire, Herefordshire and Birmingham. These are the places that Refugee Action has contracts to deliver the programme. There are obviously other areas where other organisations are just as involved as we are. We've also got families arriving to the City of London. Hackney for families, there are arrivals to Islington and Tower Hamlets. One of the most important things we promote is that our understanding of resettlement in our experience is that we have some immovable principles, really, that we foster independence, we take an empowerment approach, we try and enhance mainstream services in the belief that people need to live their own lives independently and should have equal access to services the same as anybody else. This is not as easy as it sounds, it takes a long time. Also, that any support is always time limited. So in a pragmatic sense, we have to make sure that people are ready to live independently when we're no longer around. My experience is slightly contentious view, but involved in resettlement, involved in refugee work, involved in supporting asylum seekers. If we don't foster independence, if we don't have time-limited things, then we believe that a lot of things interfere and get in the way and provide barriers to people in the belief that people are doing something good. Sometimes that's not necessarily the case. So we have a saying where we say we do as much as necessary, as little as possible. Which can sound cruel, but it's actually very pragmatic. Also, we feel it doesn't work to say to somebody, we'll give you everything you want. The programme is not about giving people everything they want. The programme is about giving people what they need, so that they can live independently, be free, and be treated the same as anybody else. It's a contradiction built into the programme. I think it's one of the things that you'll need to wrestle with. On the one hand, we say we want to foster independence. On the other hand, we say you're going to be dependent on us for a while. So it is a contradiction, so you do need to work those things through. So we have a model of casework underpinned by community and sector involvement. So my job is to manage quite a few caseworkers who pick up a caseload, and they know they have 12 months to work with that family to do as much as possible so that they can become independent, live their own lives, understand how things work in the UK, and get on with their lives. One of the things you need to know about the Syrian programme is that people come here under humanitarian protection, which means they're allowed to stay for 5 years. So it's not indefinite leave to remain. In the same way, what I'm used to work on the Gateway programme. The Gateway programme is indefinite leave to remain. People are given refugee status before they arrive. They can stay here for as long as they like. The Syrian programme is different. So this is going to be a big challenge. Recently the government announced that you will have to apply to stay. So people at some point are going to make fairly stark choices about whether they want to stay in the UK or not, and what their plan is if they don't want to stay in the UK. Obviously, one of the factors around that is dependent on what's going on in Syria at the moment, and in a few years' time when people are trying to make those decisions. So just to kind of recap, in Liverpool City region so far, where we have 20 families in various places around the region. We've got a team of caseworkers working with those families. We are working very closely with each of the local authorities in partnership to make sure that the programme works, to make sure that people get access to all the fundamental things. In the early days, that's schools, job centres, GPs, colleges, access to ESOL, housing, all of those things being put in place. It sounds simple, even with the backing of the local authority, even with all the effort and energy and focus that goes into a planned programme, that can still be difficult. With a lot of the local authority areas, a lot of the agencies are still not geared up towards making sure they provide interpreters on a routine and regular basis. Most people who come don't have any English. That provides a big, big challenge. Things go wrong, benefits don't get paid, paperwork goes missing, the normal things that everybody faces. Bank accounts, I could bore you to death for about 5 hours on the difficulties of opening a bank account. These pragmatic, kind of daily living activities are the challenges for the families, as well as coming to terms with what's happened to them, where they are, building a new life. So far, what we've learned from working on the Syrian programme is one of the main differences between this and other resettlement programmes is people are still very much in shock from having to come out of their own country. They're very much in shock at the treatment they've had in other countries. People think, oh, you've escaped, you're under the auspices of the UN, you're in the Lebanon, everything's okay. The Lebanon, it's horrible, they're not welcome. They're exploited, they're discriminated against. They're not necessarily making a choice to come to the UK in the same way as that anybody else is. The UK is probably their only option in some cases. What we've also found is on Gateway, it tends to be people who come who've maybe even been born in refugee camps, have lived all their lives in refugee camps, at least the adults have. The conflicts that they've escaped from are not necessarily having an impact still, although in the same way as the Syrian conflict is. So we've got people here who it's very, very live for them what's happening in Syria, and it has a real, real direct impact on their ability to resettle. The final thing in my 10 minutes is to say that one of our favourite sayings is resettlement is not something that you can do to people. And for the people who are involved in resettlement, resettlement is not something that they can expect is done to them. Resettlement is a personal and unique journey that people have to interact with themselves. I had a very interesting conversation with somebody on the way in who said that what they want the least of is pity. Everybody doing everything for them, everybody not consulting them and getting things done for them. What they need is the independence and respect and dignity of being able to live their own lives, and that's challenging enough. And I'll just leave you with that message from our point of view. Apart from the very final thing to say is whatever you do, it's fantastic that you're involved. I'm really pleased to be here, and thank you very much for asking us to be involved. We're limited in how much support we can offer, but we'll try and offer some support. But we've got very little capacity, and we are very, very busy with the Syrian resettlement programme that we are involved in. Please make sure that whether you're getting good relationships or not, you have to work with all authorities. It's crucial. It's crucial that you build good links with those local authorities because you need them on side to make this a success. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.